Hello everyone, this tarot reading is focusing on the topic of worry. So what I've done, I've pulled an animal oracle card, kind of for like the overall energy, and then I've focused on 3 questions. What is the worry, what is the truth, and what does Spirit want you to know? So let's start with the blue heron. So blue heron, it says, what does it say? It says, make a stand for what you believe in and do what feels right in spite of any judgment or disapproval from others. So FYI, I absolutely love herons. I think they're my favourite birds. I really do. They're just they're just so peaceful. So herons are actually incredibly patient birds. You know, they can stand in one place for such, for a long time, waiting quietly and attentively for the right opportunity. So their stillness isn't inactivity, it's focus, it's trust and intention. So I do feel like if you are worrying about your path, right now that you're on, this card reminds you that not every season is about rushing forward. Sometimes progress feels like preparing, observing and trusting your instincts, okay? And herons as well, the solitary creatures. So this may be a journey where you really do need to trust yourself more deeply rather than relying on, the opinion or approval of others. Unfortunately, people that I've been around as well, because they have their own ego, we all have our own ego, but their own ego would tell them not to do something like that because of fear. They're going to talk to me like that. Does that make sense? So now I just get to a stage where I don't tell people what I'm doing because I'm not going to listen to your fears. Does that make sense? So even if they're not trying to be nasty, some people just might try and discourage you, and this card is really saying no, you should be following what feels right to you, okay? And as well, look at this, the heron wouldn't remain where it is if there was nothing there for it, so it stands in a place for hours and hours and hours. I ain't going to be doing that. That's wasting its time. So it's doing that intentionally. It knows when something is worth waiting for, and it knows when it's time to move on. And the fact that in this imagery, the heron isn't flying away, to me suggests that actually there is something valuable here for you. Stay true to your own path, not the ones that others expect you to follow, my darling, okay? So with the worry, what is the worry? You've got the 6 of Pentacles reversed and this money path card, and it says a path with money is waiting for you to find it. I feel that, the worry here feels strongly connected to finances, support, or an imbalance of give and take. You look at how the money's just like falling out of that man's hands. So it does feel like, it feels like in a way that money is only going out and not coming in. So you could be kind of like, you could be wondering, how you're going to manage this. Where would the support come from? How are you going to pay for this? What if you don't have enough? It's those type of things, worry thoughts are crossing your mind. Now, with the 6 of Pentacles reversed, it can also feel like, or point to feeling kind of like unsupported, or, carrying so much responsibility yourself. Interestingly though, I will say this, that the clarification card doesn't say that money is unavailable. It says a path with money is waiting for you to find it. So to me, that actually suggests that although things may feel a bit uncertain right now, opportunities or solutions or new directions are available. The path may not be fully visible yet, but it exists, okay? Now, what is the truth? You've got the 2 of Wands and the January card. The truth is, I actually feel like you're closer than you think. The 2 of Wands is a card of planning, preparation, and envisioning what comes next. It's standing in the threshold between where you are now and then where you want to be. And you notice how it kind of like, this card mirrors the energy of the blue heron. Both represent pause, intention, and patience. And with the January card, with a guy that's like frozen, to me that is suggesting a temporary pause rather than a permanent blockage. It's ice melts, yeah? So it's not a permanent thing. So you may feel stuck because of fear or self-doubt or uncertainty or concerns about how everything will work. But this isn't a sign that you're failing. It's actually a sign that you're preparing, okay? You already have many of the tools, the skills and the resources that you actually need, my darling. The next step is, I would say, requiring just more trust and willingness to move forward even without having all the answers. Oh God, I'm going to say this and I'm so sorry, but, sometimes winter isn't stopping us. It's getting us ready for spring. okay? So this time of pause at the moment might just be, really is preparing you for the next season. If that makes sense. So what does Spirit want you to know? You've got the Six of Cups and the Valley, deep personal strength and peace that assures success. So to me, this feels like something you've waited for a long time. This is something that it has been on your heart. This is something that you've been wanting to do for a very long time. The Six of Cups often speaks about dreams, memories and desires that stayed with us, over the years. So, that might be a goal, a project or a vision that has lived in your heart for a long, long time, okay? And I also feel that you're being reminded that in the past, you did face difficult times before and you overcame it. Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia, past, so it's a card where it kind of comes out when it wants you to look back at the past situation where you were in a familiar situation like this before, but how you also found a solution or a way to overcome that worry or stress. So that might be, something that, you kind of, how do I say this, bloody hell, look back at the past, reflect on the past, because actually the past, you found a solution, you found a way to overcome something that you're kind of experiencing right now, okay? So it's kind of like the Six of Cups is getting to see you can overcome situations, or maybe it might be that this experience or chapter you're currently in now might need to be handled in the same way that you approached it in the past, or it's just like a reassuring message to know that you can overcome difficult times or uncertainty or stress, okay? This doesn't mean the situation is exactly the same, but I do feel that there may be lessons from the past that really can support you now, is what I'm trying to say. And if you notice, as well, the journey from the Six of Pentacles reversed to the Six of Cups, okay? So it feels like you begin with, feeling of lack, worry or limited support, but you actually end with connection, kindness and this emotional fulfillment. The child in the Six of Cups, if you look at him, he's offering the support freely. So this card reminds you as well that you don't need to have to, when I speak English, you don't have to carry everything alone. Allow yourself to receive help when it's offered to you as well, my darling, okay? And the Valley card confirms that your strength runs deeper than your fears. Success isn't being promised through force or pressure. It comes through resilience, patience, and that inner peace. And so I actually feel like, in a way, there's an invitation here to really reconnect with joy as well with the Six of Cups, okay? To have fun, to play. Worry can make everything feel heavy, but the Six of Cups is a card as well that also reminds you to make space for play, creativity, and the things that inspire you. This is not a time to be screaming at yourself and getting angry with yourself. It's kind of like the same energy. It's kind of similar to the Strength card in tarot. Speak to yourself gently. Be understanding with yourself. Patient with yourself and the situation. You're trying to overcome something. You're trying to face something. You're trying to achieve something or become something in this day and age. That's difficult. That's not easy, my darling. But by you being a bigger supporter and fan and being gentle with yourself, my darling, is very important. Screaming, getting angry is wasting your energy and actually frightening you and your child, okay? Feeling excited, happy, positive, motivated, determined will make you feel safer. Remember why you started. Remember what this dream means to you. Remember the version of yourself who believed it was possible. You have faced this uncertainty before and you have found a way then, my darling, and you can find a way now, okay? Please be gentle with yourself during this season. Trust the path. Keep taking those small steps, small meaningful steps, and don't forget to enjoy the journey along the way, my darling. So yeah, I hope this reading's helped and have a good day. Bye.